Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to MFTv. It's Karolyn, and I'm dropping in today to share a process video for a project that I made for last month's Icing on the Cupcake card kit. The kit sold out in a nanosecond, but I have great news. All the components can be purchased separately and are still available. Today's project features the Cupcake and Sprinkles Die-namics and the sugar-coated sentiment stamp set. Today's project features a super fun way to have the shaker show on the outside of the card as well as on the inside, and I can't wait to show you how I did it. I started by using the second to the largest of the A2 frame dynamics to cut two pattern papers from the Sweet Celebrations 6x6 paper pack, as well as a piece of smooth white cardstock. Then I scored a 4 1/4 inch by 11 inch raspberry card base at 5 1/2 inches, folded it in half, and perfected the crease with my Teflon bone folder. I've placed the inside portion of the green polka dot die cut in the center of my card base, and I'll use the striped frame to help position everything perfectly. Once I have it in position, I'll place the icing die from the Cupcakes and Sprinkles Die-namics onto the polka dot panel, and I'll secure it in place with a piece of washi tape. I'll also secure the polka dot panel to the front of the card base, and I'll die cut the icing die through both layers at once. I'm carefully removing the die and the washi tape so that I don't rip anything in the process. While I still have the polka dot panel in place, I'll adhere the rainbow frame to the front of the card base with some mini foam squares. Once that's in place, I'll carefully remove the other washi tape and lift the green polka dot panel away. And while I'm doing that, I'll warn you in advance that I'm in my 3rd week of self-quarantine, almost my 4th, which means my nails are a mess and I might not have done my hair after my shower today. I was thinking that no one would notice, but my hair makes a lovely appearance later on in the video. Okay, back to our project. I've placed the green polka dot panel onto the inside portion of the smooth white A2 frame die cut. I'm tracing the inside lines of the cupcake to use as a guide. And then I'll arrange and adhere the sprinkles that I die cut from Razzleberry and Limelight cardstock. This is a little bit tedious, but such a fun way to accent the cupcake icing. I adhered some double-sided adhesive to the back of the cardstock before I die cut the sprinkles, so the most tedious part is removing that liner paper. If this is too tedious for you, you can just use your favorite liquid adhesive instead. Once I've adhered all the sprinkles, I'm ready to move on to the next step. I'm applying some tape runner adhesive to the back of the green polka dot panel around the outside edge of the icing aperture. And then I'll adhere one of the cupcake shaker pouches. Then I'll apply more tape runner adhesive around the outside edge of the green polka dot panel, and I'll temporarily position it so that the shaker pouch is positioned inside the icing aperture. Next, I'll fill the cupcake shaker pouch with some pink and green sprinkles that I picked up from the baking section at Michael's. To secure the sprinkles in place, I'll adhere a piece of acetate to cover the shaker pouch. Then I'll apply a layer of tape runner adhesive to the front of the white panel that I decorated with the paper sprinkles, and I'll carefully adhere the green polka dot panel to the white panel, making sure to align the icing pouch with the paper sprinkles. This is pretty easy to do since both panels are exactly the same size, so really all you need to do is make sure that the outside edges are lined up. Next, I'll apply more tape runner adhesive to the back of the assembled shaker pouch panel, and I'll position the shaker pouch inside the card base so that it pokes through the icing aperture. I'll temporarily secure it in place with a couple pieces of washi tape, and then I can close the back panel of the card base towards the front. I'll give it a good rub with my fingers to make sure everything is stuck together. When I open the card front, you can see that everything is aligned perfectly. I can now carefully remove those pieces of washi tape. And now I can focus on the rest of the details of the card. I die cut the cupcake liner from Razzleberry and Limelight cardstock. I'll apply some tape runner adhesive to the back of the Razzleberry liner, and I'll adhere it just under the cupcake shaker pouch on the inside of the card. I'll adhere the Limelight cupcake wrapper to the front of the card base. Next, I want to split one of the sentiments from the sugar-coated sentiment stamp set, so I'll use my detail scissors to cut the sentiment apart. If you're not a fan of doing this, you can also mask off the portion of the sentiment that you don't want to stamp. But I promise it's okay to cut your polymer stamps as long as you're careful. I'll stamp the top of the sentiment onto some Limelight cardstock using Sweet Tooth Pigment ink, and then I'll heat emboss it with white embossing powder. I'll die cut the sentiment using the Skinny Strips Die-namics. For the second half of the sentiment, I'll stamp the word cupcake onto some smooth white cardstock using Razzleberry dye ink. And then I'll die cut it using the Fishtail flag trio dynamics. I'll apply a layer of tape runner adhesive to the back of both ends of the sentiment strip, and I'll position and adhere the two flags to the back of the sentiment. Then I'll adhere some thin foam squares to the back of the sentiment flag, and I'll use my tweezers to position and adhere it to the inside of the card above the cupcake. I'll adhere the other sentiment strip to the front of the card base using some mini foam squares, again using my tweezers to help me obtain the perfect position. This is such a fun way to bring the front of the card to the inside, and a great way to showcase the shaker, both inside and out. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, today's project was inspired by a project that I made for last month's card kit release. So I thought I'd share it with you here for more inspiration. And that'll complete today's process video. I hope you enjoyed it and will be inspired to make an inside-out shaker card for yourself. I've listed and linked all of the MFT products that I used in the description box below. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe to the MFT YouTube channel so that you don't miss any of the fun stuff we have going on here. Stay well and have a great day.